Welcome to our look at the year in LC sports. I'm Jordan Meisner. Well, 2010, we're going in. That was the theme for the LC football team this season, a season that began with hopes of an ASC championship. However, nobody could have predicted the roller coaster ride that was ahead of the Wildcats. Dennis Dunn headed into the season with one of the most potent offensive attacks in college football. The LC's early season performance certainly backed that claim, as the Wildcats averaged 45 points in their first 3 games of the season. The win-loss record was not so encouraging, however, as the Wildcats found themselves with a 1-2 record heading into a Week 4 showdown with national powerhouse Mary Hardin-Baylor. The Wildcats put out a great effort once again, but fell short, losing by a final score of 42-38. The final play was Ben McLaughlin's pass that was intercepted in the end zone, and the loss sent the Wildcats sinking to the bottom of the ASC standings. Despite the early season disappointments, Dunn would not let his team lose focus, and they responded, winning their next 5 games in impressive fashion. Along the way, Ben McLaughlin racked up huge numbers, becoming the ASC's all-time leader in passing yards. This set up a season finale against another nationally ranked opponent, Hardin-Simmons, in what was being called the biggest game in the program's history. Postseason hopes on thin ice, LC played one of his best games all season, taking a 44-42 victory. When the team learned that it would not be making the postseason, disappointment certainly set in, but the success of this team sets the foundation of the program for years to come.
We're still in our young stages, but we think that we have the coaches, the right coaches in the right place, and we've got the right players here, and so we feel like that even though we're young and probably we haven't been playing for as long as a lot of other premier Division III schools, that we have the ability to compete on that level. And hopefully that this honor that we have is a testament to that we can compete with just about anybody that we want.
Well, similar to a year ago, the LC women's basketball team began the season with high expectations. However, the untimely death of beloved head coach Janice Joseph Richard left interim head coach Jason Tinsley the challenge of leading a talented but emotionally battled basketball team. The Lady Wildcats did not disappoint as they finished the season with a 25-4 overall record, a 17-2 mark in ASC play, and another undefeated campaign at home, as they were a perfect 11-0 at the HOS Fieldhouse. Tinsley's Cats notched a spot in the final Division III National Top 25 poll, coming in at number 23. They won the ASC Eastern Division crown for the 2nd consecutive season and reached the Division III National Tournament and recorded the school's first national tournament win, a 61-60 victory over Chapman University on March the 4th. Senior forward Talisha Givens was a standout once again in her farewell campaign, and she was named First Team All-Louisiana, as well as becoming the first ever Lady Wildcat to be named to the Division III All-American team. Givens recalls the advice that the late head coach Janice Joseph Richard gave her as a freshman.
Well, one thing she said, you're going to have heart, you're going to have to want to work hard, you're going to have to want to win. She's like, you're going to be shorter than everybody that you play against, so you're just going to have to want it more. So I kept that in mind, and that's what I did. And when she passed, I mean, it was just even more motivation for me to go even harder for her.
And the Lady Wildcats program will see some added stability as Jason Tinsley was named the permanent head coach after being named to replace Richard on an interim basis before the season began. The news was also encouraging for Gene Rushing and the LC men's team. Despite being picked to finish at the bottom of the ASC East in preseason polls, the Wildcats rallied to finish at an even 500, 10-10 in conference play. A huge early season home opening win over Division I opponent UNO was a high point. All of this was done with only one senior, Alexandria native Chikuma Eke. Eke enjoyed a successful senior campaign as he, along with juniors Corey Salmon, Gerard Jackson, and Jelani Mitchell, were all named to the ASC's All-Conference team. The Wildcats also displayed their character on and off the court, receiving the ASC Sportsmanship Award. The biggest news of the season, however, was Rushing reaching the 300-win plateau. After 25 years at the helm of the men's basketball program, Rushing was able to collect his 300th win on February 5th with a 65-51 win over division rival LaTourneau.
I am awfully appreciative to my players that are here now, my former players for helping me along the way, coaches in the past that have assisted me and helped me along this path of coaching. I also appreciate all the administrators that have stood by me and stayed with me through all these years, and of course the fans, the Louisiana College fans that have been very loyal and supported our teams throughout the year. I just really appreciate Louisiana College and what it's meant to me and what it's meant to my family. And I could never repay Louisiana College for all the good things that they've done for me and my family.
Or similar to Coach Rushing and his LC men's team, Mike Burns and the LC baseball team headed into the 2011 season with relatively low expectations. Despite his tremendous late season surge of the 2010 season, the Wildcats were picked to finish just 4th in preseason ASC East polls. The Wildcats were out to prove their doubters wrong in a tremendous start to the season, including a win over Division I Centenary and a series win over nationally ranked Hardin-Simmons, gave the team the confidence it needed going into conference play. The Wildcats remained hot once ASC play began, as they were alone in first place in the Eastern Division before losing 2 out of 3 games to number 3 Texas Tyler. They ended the season finishing 3rd in the ASC East Division with a 2nd conference tournament appearance in as many years. Senior shortstop Stephen Davis was a standout in his 5th season and was named the ASC East Hitter of the Week for February 15th. Davis said he could recognize the difference between this year's team versus the LC teams of the past 4 years.
2007 ASC Freshman of the Year.
Well, physically we've made many improvements in the weight room. Everybody's working hard, and to get off to a good start, it's a good morale booster. But like I said, we have to play good when it counts in conference.
The Louisiana College softball program over the past decade has been well documented and nationally recognized. With a preseason national ranking of number 3, the expectations remained at a high level for this year's team. However, with the resignation of head coach and athletic director Tim Whitman, the odds were stacked against the Lady Cats before the season even began. LC assistant coach Danielle Price was named interim head coach on November 24th in place of Whitman. Despite the adversity that she and the Lady Wildcats face, Price, LC's pitching coach the previous season, knew that All-American senior pitcher Renee Schwartzenberg could be counted on every time she took the circle. Schwartzenberg certainly held her own, as she not only turned in a series of dominating performances early on, but also became LC's all-time leader in both wins with 68 and strikeouts with 557. Both records were previously held by former LC great Sandy Clark.
I mean, it's a great honor because I know how well of a pitcher she was. She was really great. When I came in, she was somebody I could look up to as a earlier pitcher. And just kind of having our names side by side is just a really big honor for me. And it's an accomplishment. And she was a great pitcher, and that's it. She's great.
The Lady Wildcats unfortunately missed out on the ASC tournament, but are waiting to hear if they'll qualify for the Division III National Playoff.
It looks like it was a great year across the board for LC Sports.
Yeah, guys, I'll tell you what, great year for LC Sports, groundbreaking in some cases, so we're really looking forward to what's coming up next for the LC Sports.
Cool, go Cats. Should have been a cheerleader. Thanks, Jordan. And when we come back, we find out who this year's Teacher of the Year is.
And we'll find out who's really got talent on campus. You're watching Wildcat Weekly.